trying to shoot something here. I talk to a lot of people who are trying to get help writing, making videos, creating, right? Putting their content out there. And one of the biggest complaints that they have is that they can't do it. They can't write, they can't blog, they can't vlog because their life isn't interesting. We see the Casey Neistats, who, I mean, even in his first vlog episode, he highlights his supermodel friend, Carly Kloss. I mean, it's actually kind of a funny little bit, and that's what we stack ourselves up against. We can't create content on like a YouTube channel because we're never going to be as interesting as Casey Neistat. And that's an awful place to be because that is not how this works. So I read a lot about documentaries and film history, kind of basically trying to give myself a film school education. And I bumped into a documentary that's out right now. I think it's called like 306 Hollywood, because that's the address of this lady who died recently. And her, I believe, grandkids went through all of her stuff and basically made a documentary of her life by showing you all of her stuff and all of her objects. They also had a ton of interviews of the woman and cut it all together, and they made this beautiful film that's like winning tons and tons of awards. People are digging this movie. Why is it so interesting? Not because the woman who died is very interesting. She's not a supermodel. She has a life that's like very mundane, you'd probably say, like not all, kind of ordinary. It's interesting because her grandchildren approached this by being insanely interested in her. They asked her some like really tough questions on camera, things like, do you miss sex? Are you afraid to die? You know, we all get old, like we're all gonna be her one day, like what does she gotta say about this? So then they made the film just so beautiful. I've heard reviews that the movie just feels and looks so surreal. They do a lot of stuff with these objects. They make it feel like you're kind of in a Wes Anderson film a little bit, kind of art-wise. I remember one of the first blog posts I had, long time ago, that kind of took off at all, was simply about me getting extra toppings on a sandwich at a sub shop. That's a pretty mundane story, right? I mean, there's not much to that, except by me being interested in that process, I realized there was something like interesting psychologically I was doing that a lot of people in marketing might be interested in, and that's it. Like, I was interested in that process, and it became something that kind of blew up. Dale Carnegie, I think, he's got a really great quote. To be interesting, be interested. If you think your life is too mundane and there's no good stories to tell, number one, tell someone else's story. Like, you don't have to tell your stuff, especially when you're a new writer or a new vlogger or whatever. Like, you need the practice. Get the practice by telling someone else's stuff. I still do that all the time, right? I take someone else's interesting story, compare it or contrast it to some interesting research or someone else's story, and I combine these things in a way hopefully no one else has done before. Once you practice that, put that lens of interest on your own life. Don't worry so much about being flamboyant and doing all this crazy stuff. You don't need supermodel friends, or you don't have to be jumping out of planes or risking your life. You can just be interested in the details of your own life. And that interest, that excitement is going to come through. And it's still hard work. Don't get me wrong. Those grandkids working on that woman's video, the movie, that documentary, I think they took 2 years to make that thing. It's hard work. And you do have to be creative, and you do have to do some things that are going to take a lot of thought and hard work. But it's not about like how interesting your life is. Everybody's life is interesting. It's just, are you interested in it?